In South Africa's last major election in 2019, young voters had the lowest turnout than any other demographic. Increasing youth unemployment, massive public sector corruption, and deep-seated inequality, just some of the reasons young South Africans said they preferred to sit out during the elections. Voter apathy by young people was also fueled by a disillusionment with the country's political system. But on the flip side of that, young people initiated and took part in mass demonstrations like the Fees Must Fall protests. At the launch of this year's municipal elections, IEC Chair Glenn Mashinini said that out of the 15 million eligible voters who are yet to register, about two-thirds are under the age of 30. So today, a youth-only political party is set to launch its campaign for the October polls. Us the People is registered with the IEC, and its spokesperson Tshireletso Maki joins us now for more on the story. Tshireletso, it's great to have you with us on the show this morning. Welcome to the show. So many issues in the country, so many challenges South Africa faces, particularly affecting the youth of South Africa. Tell us about how Us the People wants to fill that gap that, you know, the numbers tell us result in voter apathy in this segment of the population.
Well, thank you for having us, Michelle, and good morning to South Africans. Well, it is exactly as you say and exactly as diagnosed by the IEC that participation of young people in politics is quite disappointing, because if you look at the majority of the population, it is young people, and if you look at the people who are making decisions on behalf of South Africans now, it is actually older people instead of young people who are actually the future. So Us the People is a party that was started to particularly tackle the issue of participation of young people in politics, as well as participation of young people in decision-making bodies, because as a party, we do not actually promise to do anything for anyone, but we want to enable people to do things for themselves. We want to enlighten people to the fact that we can do things for ourselves as people of South Africa, and particularly young people of South Africa.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the makeup of Us the People, you come from student representative councils, from the EFF, from other political parties at tertiary institutions. Why this breakaway in some respects?
Well, I think we saw that existing political parties are mainly focused on 19th century politics, and we need a new form of thinking to realize that we do not need leaders as South Africans to do things for us, but we can actually do things for ourselves. So there was not a political party or political organization that offered that kind of thinking, that as people of South Africa we can actually be able to do our things for ourselves, and we do not need to depend on leaders or messiahs to do things for us.
Yeah. I mean, depend on leaders is one thing. Did you also feel that perhaps the bigger political parties were using students and student organizations for their own means, perhaps not focused on the challenges of the youth in particular, but using that segment of the population for the interests of a bigger political party?
Of course. I mean, it is what you should expect from someone who comes to people and asks them to vote for them, and in exchange for any form of promise. I mean, if a party can promise people jobs in return for votes, why would that party create jobs if by creating jobs they would lose voters in the next election? So these parties maintain the conditions of people as they are because people vote for them hoping that they would change the conditions. So the ANC wouldn't create jobs if by creating jobs in the next election they can't come and promise people jobs. The EFF cannot enable that people have land if by giving people land, in the next election they cannot come to people and promise them land. So that is the approach of existing political parties. So, but as the people, we saw that we do not need to promise people things. We just need to enlighten people to the fact that we can do things for ourselves in our communities wherever we are.
So tell us more about Us the People, you know, the makeup of your membership and your leaders, and what ticket you are campaigning on for these upcoming local government elections.
Well, our party has a leadership approach that is quite different from all other existing parties. Our leadership is mainly responsibility based. So we do not have a hierarchical structure that is running the party, but we do have different people in different responsibilities. As I'm having the responsibility to speak to you now as the spokesperson, there are people who have different responsibilities that they are given. I mean, we cannot say someone is a leader of the party, because saying you are leading is not a particular responsibility. As things are now, we are saying that politicians are leading the country, but they are not offering us any particular skill. They are not offering us any special ability. They are not showing us something special about them besides being able to come in front of a TV and speak. So our leadership is mainly responsibility based, and towards the local government elections, we are actually looking to rally people behind doing things for themselves in their communities, electing leaders that they know in their communities, and actually taking away power from politicians who are hoping to become mayors and councillors, and taking the power to the people, for the people to make decisions on themselves, for the people to deliver services for themselves.
And is there a example in another country that you are modeling around? Is there a particular model that you are following?
Of course. I mean, we do not need to look far for that model. Even in South Africa, I mean, people are doing things for themselves every day. Even in the laws of the country, it is allowed that if you take care of a particular services that are needed in your community, you can actually go and claim your refund from your municipality. If you fix a pothole in front of your house, you can actually claim that money from the municipality, which is responsible for road maintenance. So it is happening everywhere, and it has always been happening. I mean, even courts have taken away responsibilities from municipalities of delivering services such as water and road maintenance from many different municipalities in the country. People are doing things for themselves in South Africa, and we need to actually expand this and actualize it in all urban areas and rural areas where we have people doing things for themselves. I mean, the budget of the municipality is rates and taxes that we pay as people. Look at in Johannesburg. Recently, they announced ridiculous rates increases, but in terms of services, we do not actually see any change. I mean, from the DA to the ANC government changing hands like that, we have never seen any particular change in Johannesburg, yet the rates and taxes keep on increasing. So as the people who pay the rates and taxes, we must be able to deliver services for ourselves. I cannot expect the government or local government to fix a pothole that is in front of my house if it is inconveniencing me from entering with my car every day. I must be able to fix that, because if I wait for the government to come and fix that, I mean, even the mayor does not pass in front of my house. Even the MEC does not pass in front of my house. It is inconveniencing me, and I must take the responsibility of fixing it.
Tshireletso Maki, thanks very much for your time this morning. He's the spokesperson for a youth-only political party. It's called Us the People. It's set to launch its campaign for the October local government elections. It is registered with the IEC, and it says it's hoping to focus on metros in this upcoming local government election, in particular Auckland Park, Braamfontein and some of these Soweto wards. Interesting story indeed there, given that many of the challenges facing South Africa affect the youth so directly and affect the youth in the main, in fact.